If your ex runs from conflict, they're afraid of commitment, and generally speaking, they're sort of disconnected from their emotions, getting them back is just going to be a little bit more difficult than the average person, and here's why. Hey, I'm Coach Benny, and I help people get their exes back. And for 5 years before I did this, I was a dating coach. We had to pay attention to what creates attraction in other people. And since then, as I've been helping people get their exes back, I've noticed that the types of people, the types of exes that, run away from commitment, the types of exes that, run away from conflict, these are the people that repress their emotions. And that emotional repression is something that will make the breakup process last just a little bit longer. I'm going to explain why that's the case. So we call this type of individual somebody that has a dismissive avoidant attachment style. And this attachment style forms in youth typically, where this individual has experienced some kind of emotional neglect in childhood. Imagine, for example, the child wants a glass of water, so they walk up to their mom and she's sitting on the couch watching a show. She's like, the toddler's like, "Hey, can I have water?" And mom's like, "Yeah, I'll get it when my show's over." And then the next show starts, and then she never gets the water. So the toddler goes, grabs a chair, pulls it over to the counter. They get up, they get their own glass, and they get their own water. And coming out of scenarios like this, that child becomes hyper independent, but they also realize, like, hey, my feelings don't matter. They were brushed off by my parent, just like the time that they fell down off the monkey bars on the playground, and then, dad tells them to suck it up, So initially their parents push their feelings aside, and then they start doing it to themselves. Now, whatever the reason for your breakup was, it's going to be sad, right? That person actually loves you, even if they seem cold or indifferent, or like they could just flip the switch. They break up with you out of nowhere, and they just seem like they don't care. They actually care. The dismissive avoidant is an attachment style. In other words, they do attach to you, and they're actually really sad about the breakup inside. Sometimes you can see it in their eyes, like you could see the pain in their eyes, because they don't, like, on some level, they don't want to lose you. Now, the reason why it's harder to reattract somebody like this is because, they repress their emotions. It started in childhood. This is something that they do. They do it in conflict even, right? They just run away. They just kind of ignore the subject. And that's exactly what they're going to do with their sadness about you. And usually this time period that they do this for is going to last somewhere in the neighborhood of about 3 months. And so if you're going to them, you're chasing them, you're looking for clarity, you're messaging them to talk, and all these kind of thing. Initially they might be polite, but eventually they might even get mean and try to push you away because you're interfering with their coping mechanism for big feelings. Now, just because it's a little bit harder to reattract somebody like this, it takes a little bit more time, doesn't mean that it can't be done. If you want help with this, click into my profile, click the link down here, set up a call with me, and I'm going to hear your story, and I'm going to tell you step by step exactly what to do to get this person back in your life.